Yo, now I'm gonna try and talk about skill, mostly because I think it's important that you have a better understanding in how I understand skill. Because one of the main problems from people arguing about skill is that most times is that they don't agree in what skill is, right? So they can't really agree in what takes more skill. You know what I mean? Like if they don't even agree what skill is, how can they agree on what takes the most amount of skill? So just to give you an idea, a quick idea in how I see skill. That way you can understand what I mean in future videos, hopefully. So okay, this is gonna be interesting to make. It's not really gonna be really in depth or anything like that. Just something basic. It's something easy to understand. At least I think it is. So okay. Um, a lot of people see skill as one specific thing, something that you can just point at it. I personally think that you can't do that. It's not black and white, you know? It's 50 shades of skill or something like that, if you want to put it like that. Um, I need to stop saying but yeah. And that too. So, and that too. Jesus. This is really hard. So, my friends say that doing commentary is easy, and what's hard is streaming, talking, and reading the chat at the same time. I don't know, I never really tried to stream. Actually, I did, but it was not really a stream. It was just to see if I had sound. But whatever. Skill. Back to topic. I see skill as multiple things. It's not just one thing. And just to make it simple, imagine a tree. Actually, you don't really need to imagine. You know how a tree looks like, but whatever. Picture a tree, right? And the name of the tree will be skill. And then you have the branches. I think that's how you say that from the tree. And the branches will mostly be just skills, right? Anything you can think of, from physical skill and mental skill. To give an example, execution will be a physical skill, right? And a mental skill would be how creative you are. Yeah, something like that. You know, you can put anything in there, and sometimes it will be game specific. So when you're a noob, right, you probably don't even have a skill tree anymore. You don't have a skill tree. So the more you play, the more you, how do I say that? The better you get at a game, the bigger your skill tree will get, right? And I don't think there is a game in which you can use all the skills in the game in the world in one game. I don't think that game exists, but correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, so there's a limit in how much knowledge or perception on skills you can see or learn from just playing one game. And in the Dragon Ball games, you're very limited, because in the Dragon Ball games, there's something like I like to call like core skill that you need. It's something that's really important in that specific game. And for example, in the Raging Blast games, a core skill would be vanishing, not even comboing, just vanishing. Because if you vanished, you were already good. If you didn't know how to combo, for example, you could just use a high tier character, and the high tier character would combo for you, or you can do the you can do everything, right? The characters could do everything, so you didn't really have to think about combos. You just did whatever you wanted to do. It was just a matter of um picking this thing is better and things like that. But you didn't really have to maximize or optimize or anything. It was just there. I lost what I was thinking about. Oh, core skills. In the Raging Blast games, the core skill was vanishing, like I said. And the Dragon Ball in Xenoverse or Dragon Ball games, it's always one core skill. In Xenoverse, there's even a bigger problem, is that they're trying to force you. This is the developers. They're trying to force the people to play like this. The more they increase stats, but that's a video for another time. So, and now I mentioned before that some games require a different skill set, right? So how do I explain this? Games are different, right? So it's obvious that you need a different set of skills to play one game. Like game 1, you need more execution, and game number 2, you don't need as much as execution, but you may need something else, like mind games, or be creative, And this is the important thing, because this is where a problem starts, because a lot of people limit themselves with a specific skill, or a core skill, that they think that the game, or games in general, fighting games, are based on this specific skill, which is, I guess, is the most basic. But again, it's a core skill, so it's important. But it's like you don't need to be really good at fighting games to understand that you need this skill in order to be good at the game or games, which is execution. A lot of people think that the harder it is to do a combo, the better. The more difficult it is, the more skillful that person is. And I think, and a lot of people, like I said, they limit themselves. Like their perception of skill is limited to that, and because of that, they think that the game is just that. Anything else that is not on the same spectrum is either considered to be trash if it loses, or if it wins, to be something cheap or broken. But that's something else for another video. And if you want to go deeper in definition of skill, in the game you have different characters, right? And different characters, you can have a character that is a rushdown character, you can have a character that is strength is on zoning the opponent, you have another character that is execution heavy, you have another character that is footsie game, is strong because his buttons are really good, but his combos may not necessarily be really good. You have different types of characters, and you need different set of tools to use different characters. And if you want to go even further beyond, some games have variations of one character. Injustice, or Moral, I don't remember, one of those things. Alright, even the Dragon Ball games, you have different versions of a character, and in one character, it's like the core skill to play with that character could be different, or they could add another one, or make one that's or add more things that the character can do. Like, for example, you have a rushdown character, but then you give him a tool that is capable of zoning, right? And becomes even better. And I think that's good, but in the Dragon Ball games, like I mentioned before, they don't really do that. They just focus in one specific type of skill, which is, personally, it makes the community, it's not a healthy community if the majority of the community of the people that play that game, they have this limited perception of skill. And yeah, I guess I will talk about that next, right? Yeah, I should talk about that next in my next video. Tell me what you think about this definition of skill. I didn't really define anything, just a light perception of it. But I guess it makes more sense to me because I can understand different things now. You know what I mean? Anyway, deuces. Do it!